Does your cat know you love them? Or are you just hoping they do? Sure, you feed them, scratch their ears, talk like they understand. But love to a cat doesn't always look the way we think it does. They speak a different language, and sometimes the things we do out of love don't mean the same thing to them. And if you show it in a way they don't understand, you might quietly miss the one signal they understand best. Let's start with what that slow blink really means. Ever noticed your cat staring at you across the room, calm and quiet? What if I told you there's one thing you can do in that exact moment that they read as pure love? Not a treat, not a scratch, just your eyes. Here's why it works. For an animal that depends on staying alert, slowly closing their eyes around another animal can signal that they feel safe. So when you look at your cat and slowly close your eyes, you're telling them something huge in their own language. I feel safe with you, and you're safe with me. It's one of the clearest ways a cat can understand an I love you from a human. Researchers at the University of Sussex found that cats were more likely to respond positively when humans used slow blinking. When owners slow blinked at their cats, the cats were far more likely to slow blink back, and even more likely to approach a stranger who had blinked at them first. Your eyes were talking, and the cat heard every word. So here's your daily habit. Catch their gaze from across the room. Soften your face, no hard staring, and slowly close your eyes for a second, then open them. If your cat feels comfortable with you, they may slowly blink right back. That blink is their way of saying they got the message. And this is only the beginning, because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you one small habit. Something almost no owner knows about, that doesn't just tell your cat you love them. It makes them feel like they're a kitten again, safe with their mother. Keep that in mind, because it changes everything. But first, there's something you're doing with your voice every day that matters more than you think. Do you ever say your cat's name and swear they just ignored you? Here's the twist. They didn't. They heard it perfectly. They can learn to recognize the sound of their own name. Cats can pick their own name out of a lineup of similar sounding words. A study from Sophia University in Tokyo found that cats could distinguish their own names from similar sounding words, even when a stranger said them. But here's the part that matters for you. Research suggests that cats can respond differently to the gentle, higher-pitched way their owners often speak to them. The one you probably use without even thinking. When their own person used that voice, cats reacted. When a stranger used the exact same tone, they mostly didn't. So it isn't just the name that reaches them. It's hearing it from you in that gentle voice that tells them they're yours. That's your daily habit. Once a day, get their attention and say their name gently, warmly, like it's the best word you know. Not the sharp, get off the counter version. The soft one. Every time you do, you're wrapping their name in safety, and you're teaching them that your voice is the sound of being loved. And hey, before we move on, if this is already changing how you show your cat love, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more owners who want their cat to actually feel it. Ever reach out to pet your cat and they lean away? Or worse, walk off? It stings a little, right? But what if that moment is actually your biggest chance to show them love, and almost everyone gets it wrong? Here's the truth most owners never hear. For many cats, being grabbed or held when they haven't invited the interaction can feel less like affection and more like a loss of control. And having some control over the interaction can make a big difference to them. Research on cat-human interactions suggests that cats often respond better when they can control how an interaction begins and ends. When humans let the cat decide, offering a hand and waiting instead of reaching in, the cats were calmer, friendlier, and stayed close far longer. The owners who chased the cuddle got less affection. The ones who backed off got more. Love to a cat is measured in choices you let them make. So here's your daily habit, and it's the easy one to skip. Instead of scooping them up, hold out one finger at their nose level and just wait. If they press into it, you're in, pet away. If they don't, you smile and let them go. That's it. Every time you respect their no, you make your yes safer. And slowly they learn that your hands never take. They only offer. That's a kind of trust most cats never get to feel. Ever notice your cat goes a little wild at night, tearing around the house like something's wrong with them? It may look like craziness, but often there's a natural need behind it. The urge to chase, stalk, and play. The fix takes 5 minutes. Every cat, no matter how spoiled or sleepy, is wired to hunt. Stalk, chase, pounce, catch. That whole sequence is burned into them. And when that instinct doesn't get an outlet, some cats may become restless, frustrated, or develop unwanted behaviours. Here's the part almost everyone gets wrong. They wave the toy around, the cat swats a few times, and they call it play. But if the cat never catches anything, the hunt never closes. It's like reading a story with no ending. Interactive play can help reduce boredom, frustration, and some unwanted behaviours, especially when cats get to stalk, chase, and catch. So here's your daily habit. Grab a wand toy and drag it like wounded prey. Let them stalk, let them chase. And here's the key. Let them win. Let those paws close around it for real. End the game with a catch. And if you can, a few treats right after. So the hunt ends the way nature intended, with a meal. You're not just tiring them out, you're handing them the one feeling their instincts crave most, and they'll love you for giving it. What if the most powerful way to say I love you isn't a treat, a toy, or even a cuddle, but something that takes your cat all the way back to the very first moments of their life? Think back to when your cat was a kitten, before they could see, before they could walk. There was one feeling that meant safety, their mother's tongue grooming their little head over and over. That warm, rhythmic grooming was one of the earliest forms of comfort and care they experienced. It's how a mother says, "You're mine, you're safe, you're clean, you're cared for." And here's the beautiful part. That early grooming experience may help explain why some cats find gentle grooming so comforting later in life. So here's the habit almost no one knows about. Take a soft toothbrush, run it under warm water, and gently brush the top of their head and between their ears, areas many cats enjoy having groomed. A cat's tongue is covered in tiny bristles, which is why a damp toothbrush mimics that grooming better than your hand ever could. Watch what happens. Some cats may go still, start to purr, or even close their eyes. For some cats, the gentle rhythm and sensation may feel familiar and deeply soothing. And this is where everything comes together. Remember the slow blink from the start? The way you softened your eyes to say, "I feel safe with you"? This carries that same feeling of gentle care and safety, in a way your cat may find deeply comforting. Let them lean in, never force it, and let them choose to stay. When they do, you're not just their owner anymore. You're their family, your home. But there's more your cat has already been telling you, if you know where to look. And once you start noticing these signals, you'll realise your cat has been speaking to you this whole time. Have you ever had your cat climb into your lap and start pushing their paws into you, over and over, almost like they're kneading dough? Some owners find it a little strange, maybe even uncomfortable if the claws come out. But that motion goes all the way back to kittenhood. When kittens nurse, they knead against their mother to help milk flow. It's one of the first comforting rhythms a cat ever learns, tied directly to feeling fed, warm, and safe. So when your adult cat kneads on you, especially while they're relaxed or drifting off to sleep, there's a good chance they're returning to that same feeling of comfort and choosing you as the safe place to do it. Here's how to make the most of that moment. Don't pull away and don't scold them for it. If the claws are an issue, a soft blanket between you and their paws works well. Let them settle into it, and maybe add a slow, gentle stroke down their back at the same time. You're not just tolerating the kneading, you're reinforcing that this is a safe space to be that vulnerable in front of you. Next, watch what your cat does with their head. Does your cat ever walk right up and bump their head against your hand, your leg, or even your face? That's called bunting, and it's one of the most direct forms of affection a cat can offer. Cats have scent glands around their cheeks, chin, and forehead, and when they rub those against you, they're doing two things at once. They're marking you with their scent, which in cat language means you belong to my group, and they're choosing close, deliberate contact with the most sensitive part of their body, their face. A cat doesn't headbutt just anyone. It's reserved for the people, animals, and sometimes objects that feel like home. When your cat bunts you, lean into it gently rather than pulling back. Let them rub against your hand or cheek for as long as they want, and if you can, return the gesture by softly stroking the same areas, cheeks, chin, the base of the ears. You're essentially trading scents and trust in the same motion, and over time, this becomes one of the clearest two-way conversations you'll have with your cat. Now think about where your cat chooses to sleep. Cats are cautious sleepers by nature. In the wild, sleep is the most vulnerable state an animal can be in, which is exactly why a cat's choice of sleeping spot says so much. If your cat curls up on your chest, tucks into the crook of your legs, or stretches out pressed against your side, they're not just looking for warmth. They're choosing to be unconscious and defenseless right next to you, which is about as strong a statement of trust as an animal can make. The same goes for a cat that shows you their belly. It doesn't always mean pet me. In fact, many cats will swat if you do. But it almost always means I don't feel like I need to protect this part of myself around you. The habit here is simple. Don't disturb it. If your cat has fallen asleep on or near you, resist the urge to move, even if your arm's gone numb or you really need to get up. Let them wake up on their own terms when you can. And if they show you their belly, admire it with your eyes and maybe a gentle word, rather than immediately reaching in for a rub. You're rewarding the vulnerability itself, not turning it into a test they might fail. And finally, there's the gift giving. If your cat has ever dropped a toy, a sock, or something less pleasant at your feet, your first instinct might be confusion or even disgust. But in a cat's mind, this is a genuine offering. Bringing something back to the group, especially prey, is deeply rooted in how cats care for each other. Mothers do it for kittens. And cats in multi-cat households sometimes do it for one another. When your indoor cat brings you a toy mouse or drops a bottle cap in your shoe, they're running that same ancient program, and you're on the receiving end of it because they consider you part of their family. So when it happens, resist the urge to react with disgust, even if the gift is questionable. A calm, warm thank you, and maybe picking it up while they're watching, tells them the offering landed the way it was meant to. You don't have to keep whatever it is, but the moment of acknowledgement matters more than the object itself. Put all of this together, the slow blink, the soft voice, the freedom to say no, the play that ends in a catch, the gentle grooming, the kneading, the headbutts, the trust in sleep and vulnerability, and the gifts, and you start to see it. Your cat has never been withholding love from you. They've been offering it constantly, in a language built entirely out of small, deliberate choices. There's still more, and some of it is so quiet you might be missing it every single day. Pay attention to your cat's tail the next time you walk through a room together. A tail held high, with just a slight curve or a gentle quiver at the tip, is one of the friendliest signals a cat can give. It's often described as a greeting, almost like a wave, and if your cat wraps their tail around your leg or your arm while they sit beside you, that's not an accident either. Cats use their tails the way we might use an arm around someone's shoulder, a small, physical way of saying we're together right now. The habit here is simply to notice it and respond. When you see that high curved tail coming toward you, crouch down, offer a hand, or just say their name softly. You're closing the loop on a greeting they already started. Then there's the sound cats make that isn't quite a meow and isn't quite a purr, a short, chirpy little trill. Almost like a question. Mother cats use this exact sound to call their kittens to follow them. When your adult cat trills at you, especially when you walk into a room or when they want you to follow them somewhere. They're using that same old instinct, treating you like family they want close by. It's different from a demanding meow at the food bowl. It's softer, and it usually comes with eye contact. When you hear it, a good response is to actually follow, or at least to trill or talk back gently. You're telling them the invitation was received. And one of the most overlooked signs of all, grooming you back. If your cat has ever licked your hand, your hair, or your cheek, that's called allogrooming. And cats only do it with animals and people they consider part of their inner circle. In multi-cat households, cats groom the companions they trust, not the ones they merely tolerate. When your cat licks you, even if that sandpaper tongue isn't exactly pleasant, they're extending the same bond they'd share with another cat in their family group. The best response is to stay still and let it happen, rather than pulling your hand away the moment it starts. You can follow it with slow petting once they're done, so the exchange feels complete on both sides. Watch what happens when you get up and move to another room. Does your cat get up too, and follow, even if there's nothing waiting for them there? No food, no toy, just you. Cats are territorial animals, and they don't waste energy wandering the house for no reason. When a cat consistently shadows you from room to room, settling nearby wherever you land, that's a deliberate choice to keep you in sight, rather than stay curled up somewhere comfortable. It's one of the plainest signs that your presence itself is what they're after, not what you might give them. The habit here is easy. When you notice them trailing you, let them in. Leave the bathroom door cracked, let them hop onto the desk while you work, and resist the reflex to shoo them off, just because they're underfoot. Being underfoot is often the whole point. There's also a quieter version of touch that's easy to miss. A paw resting on your arm, your leg, or your hand while your cat is sitting or sleeping nearby. It's not needing, and it's not asking for attention. It's just contact, maintained for its own sake. In a lot of ways, it's the feline equivalent of holding hands, no urgency behind it. Just a small physical link kept in place while you're both doing your own thing. When you feel that paw land on you, the best response is to simply leave it there. Don't shift away, and don't turn it into a bigger interaction than it is. Let the quiet contact be enough. You're telling your cat that this small, low-effort form of closeness is always welcome, which often makes them offer it more. Every one of these signals, the tail wrap, the trill, the grooming, the kneading, the headbutts, the trust in sleep, the gifts, the shadowing, the resting paw, the slow blink, is small on its own. But taken together, they form a whole vocabulary your cat has been using with you for as long as you've known them. Most owners only ever notice one or two. Once you notice all of them, you start to see just how much your cat has actually been saying. If your cat has ever responded to you with some of these behaviours, there's a good chance they're already showing you that they feel safe and comfortable with you. Do these habits regularly and pay attention to the ones your cat already gives you, and your cat may become more confident that your presence means safety, comfort, and trust, because they'll feel it in the language they were born understanding.